Hello. Today we're going to review some rum as part of my continuing series where I'm going to focus on imported non-US spirits over the next couple of months because it's very likely that at the end of January, the change in administration will see enormous changes in American trade policy. I don't know what. I don't think anyone does, but it feels like there's, things are going to change. And the Fijis deserve a better introduction than us. So I've gotten a couple of comments and messages, and this has come up before, telling me that I should, on this channel, I should stay out of politics and just focus on spirits. And the thing, I'm not here to tell you who to vote for, what letters you should write to your congressman. That's not my job. Y'all are adults. Y'all are big folks. You can make decisions for yourselves. But the idea that politics is like over there somewhere, over separate in its own ugly, messy sphere, distinct from the medium-sized objects that we interact with on a daily basis. On the one hand, that is in itself a political position. Well, it's really a kind of false consciousness. But more than that, that's not going to do you any favors in terms of your consumer consciousness. I would love to never to not think about politics. Believe me, I would love it. But maybe I can I'm going to throw this over to Kant, if I may. The underlying question, the fundamental question of the critique of pure reason, as summed up to me brilliantly by J.Z. Smith in a lecture once, is how did this get here? In Kant's case, that question applied to objects of experience in general, but you can take that same question to the consumer sphere. You see a bottle of rum on the shelf. How did that get there? A new distillery or a new bar opens in your area. How did that get there? The bottle, okay, so yeah, they distilled some spirit, they maybe aged it, but then why that bottle? Why that packaging? What moved it from where it was made over to here? Who put it on the shelf? And why is it that price, right? You ask that how did that get there question, start digging deep enough, you very quickly start running into policy decisions. Policy decisions make up the conditions for the possibility of a nice bottle of spirits. They make up a significant part of those conditions, and changes in political policy can very well trickle down to changes in the businesses involved and what goes up on the shelf. So, don't think I'm speaking from the pulpit here. I don't know who you are. You and I, we could have radically different political opinions, but it's my job to offer some kind of consumer guidance, and so be aware that the political changes that are about to take place could absolutely affect what's going on in your spirit, on your liquor shelf, and you should guide your. I really think you should guide your buying decisions in the next couple of months accordingly. In particular, I think I'm not telling you to go on a buying spree or anything, but if you were to lean your decisions in the direction of non-domestic spirits, I think that might be a wise idea. That being said, it's not like I think domestic spirits are going to escape from the consequences of this. Anyways, So I'm trying to help you folks out. I don't really care what your opinions are. You're watching me because you think my judgment is worth something. So I'm trying to do the best I can. I'm trying to do you a solid. All right, so did start thinking after the last video on Isla, like, assuming things are as bad as I hope they are not, or what would I really, what distillery would I really focus on buying right now? In other words, if we go deep into the weeds for the next 4 years plus, what do I think is going to just not be around anymore once we come out? And I thought about a couple of distilleries, and then I really settled on one that seems like the best candidate. It's Fiji. It's South Pacific Distillers. Why? Because, Lord, I'm 6 minutes into this and I haven't even started on spirits. Because a few years ago, South Pacific signed an agreement with Maison Ferrand, aka Plantation, aka Plantaray, to only sell casks and spirit to them. So all of those cool independent bottlings of Fijian rum we've been seeing over the last couple of years, that there's going to be no replacements for them for the foreseeable future. They are going to run out. At that point, you can either hope that South Pacific themselves will try to present better versions of their rum, possible but unlikely, or you gotta hope that Plantaray is going to put out some good versions of the rum, and that isn't going to be finished too obnoxiously or given too much sugar. And even then, you kind of have to swallow the whatever criticisms you might imagine coming from the Ferrand family or from advocates of strong protective geographical indications in the Caribbean. So yeah, Fiji really seems like the one where if you're going to stock up on something, that might be the one, because this stuff is going to dry out. And I've got two bottlings here, and then I've got a ringer. First bottling is from Rum Artesanal, which is, I just reviewed a very silly Hamden from them recently. Their prices seem very reasonable. It's a German bottler. And this, I'm not even sure what the name of this is. It's very ambiguously labeled, but it's Fiji rum, FSDP Distillery, so South Pacific, distilled March 2001, and it's 22-year-old, and it's not that expensive if you can find it. It is a 50 centiliter bottle, though, so I'm very curious about this. It also comes in a nice box. And then 2009 from FRC, and I can never remember what FRC stands for. It doesn't matter, I guess. And then I wanted to throw this in because if Fijian rum does dry up, people might want, a fun alternative. So something that seems like it might be a good grungy sparring partner for these is this Chairman's Reserve Master Selection from St. Lucia. This was entirely distilled on their Vendome pot still, which is the really grungy one, in 2005, and it is 15 years old. So this should be fun. I will give further stats as we get to these things, but we're going to start with the older Fijian, because it's just bottled at lower strength, and I have had a 2009 Fiji before, and it was a little bit of a palate wrecker, so that's going to go second. So this one, Rum Artesanal, distilled March 01, bottled March 23, so pretty much 22 years old on the dot. Cask number 16, 59.3% alcohol by volume. No indication of what kind of cask this is, but it's got to be ex-bourbon, right? All right, let's get into it. Hang on, let me get some water. That was a lot of ranting. On the nose. It's a very soft nose. So normally when I think of South Pacific rums, I think of, well, I mean, it's an interesting rum that can go in a couple of different directions. You have the very grungy, intense, industrial accent style of Fiji, which I really, really love. But then you have this sort of softer, woodier, almost foursquare style of Fiji. This is leaning more in that direction, but it's even softer than I was really anticipating. Yeah, cream soda, man. Banana bread, white pepper, and just lots of black licorice. Piles and piles of black licorice. It's just a soft tea is what it is. Sweet tea, tobaccos, Virginian tobaccos, just kind of a mix. Give me some some red Virginia, then like maybe some stowed Virginia as well. None of you smoke pipes. You have no idea what I'm talking about, but Virginia tobacco. Dried flowers. There's a floral thing in this, but there's more than that. It's like, yeah, it's almost more like an expensive moisturizer kind of smell than an actual like flower sort of smell. A little dash of like a briny seawater thing. Vanilla, yeah. Did I mention vanilla? Vanilla. Almost like what is that? There's some pineapple, but there's also like almost a teriyaki sauce kind of thing going on. A little slightly herbaceous along with the floral thing. There's a little, I don't know, maybe sage. There is a little bit of like Fiji rubber in there as well. Just a little kiss of rubber. But it's really understated. I'm quite kind of surprised at this. I was expecting from the age and from the distillery to have it be, a little bit of a flavor bomb, and it's just not doing that. It's a nice nose, though. On the palate. Initial impression. I mean, similar. This is not a superstar, but it's beautiful and delightful and delicious. Yeah, this is more on the foursquare side of Fiji, but maybe even then a little bit more reserved than that. Pineapple cake, like pineapple upside down cake. Cream soda, vanilla, Virginia tobacco again, like full Virginia flake, go with, for the three of you that know what that is. Fresh coffee grinds, like a washed medium roast coffee, like a Guatemala, something like that. Certainly some black pepper, although the wood is not overwhelming on this at all. I don't know. I know the St. Lucia is entirely tropically aged. These, I would guess, aged on the continent, but I'm not sure. There's a kind of that banana bread note is still there, and a kind of nuttiness, like you put nuts in your banana bread. Overstewed tea, and yeah, just on the finish, really coming in on the transition into the finish, just a little bit of rubber cement, just a little kiss to remind you of the industrial side of Fiji. In terms of form, I mean, this is just silky and beautiful and understated. It's definitely filling out my mouth. Finish holds on. Mouth length is good. But I don't know. We're not pushing into the 90s with this, but it's a very nice bottling. Let's give it some water, see what happens. All right, so it's 59-ish. I'll probably take at least 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4.5. I might give it another half if it needs it. No, I'm going to leave it there. I will play it safe. I will leave it there. All right, moving on. FRC, Fiji 2009, 14-year-old. Supposedly, so this was selected by Kirsch Imports, but it's also proudly supporting Sea Shepherd. I don't know what that is. I just wanted to buy some Fijian rum. So this was aged entirely on the continent in a reused rum barrel. Distilled September 2009, bottled in May 2024. So just recently, and yeah, 65% alcohol by volume. Here we go. Yes. Here we go. Here we go. This is the grungy industrial side of Fiji. Rubber cement, absolutely, like rubber cement that's at a you're smelling rubber cement at a gun range. It smells like just gunpowder going off. But then like olive juice, black pepper. There's something in this that reminds me of some of the cane syrup clarins. There's a little bit of like a cake batter thing, but it's like you made your cake batter out of pickle juice or something. There's a little bit of a stinky pickle juice thing to this too. I know none of this sounds appetizing, but it's absolutely putting a smile on my face. As you can tell from the color, there is some wood influence, but not a whole lot. Vanilla, or really not even vanilla. It's more like cola candies. You know, the little candies in the bottle shape. Those gummy bears, and then like a smoking vegetable oil thing, like you're heating a vegetable oil in the pan. It's very grungy, very dirty. But then no, there's a little bit of like a little banana peel, like a little key lime in there. A little floral top note. Oh, that the expensive floral moisturizer note I was getting in the last bottle. That's here. Yeah, wow. This style is I'm not sure if I would put South Pacific in my my premier cru list of rums, but it's up there. It's definitely a class growth. Just because of stuff like this. Wow. It's not throwing a whole big range of flavors at me, but it's so dense, it's so powerful on the palate. Oh, I mean, pretty much follows the nose, if I'm honest. Good lord. It's like take a whole bunch of salted licorice and then cover them in rubber cement, and that's a lot of what's going on. But also like cake batter. Mm. There's like a just shoveling the grungiest wedding cake in the world into your face kind of feeling with this, but also lots of black pepper, very, very peppery. Cola candy again, pineapple, lime, olives, that kind of like burned vegetable oil thing. Expensive hand lotion, like floral hand lotion. That's not gummy bears. What is that? Ooh, Twizzlers. I don't see Twizzlers in rum a whole lot, but it's in there. Yeah, nail polish, absolutely. I mean, all this sounds gross, but it's kind of nice. I don't know how to explain how, but it is. It's just an enormous, big, fat bruiser of a rum, but it does it in a way that's very different from, I mean, say from Jamaica. This really, it, I mean, the closest I could think of would be like New Yarmouth, but it's really, some of the higher ester New Yarmouths, but even then, it's just a different kind of thing. That's phenomenal. It's going to take a hell of a lot to beat that to win the flight. This will take at least 5 squirts, probably 6. 3, 4, 5. Try it first. Six. Feels like I could add a half squirt more, but I'm going to stop there. With the squirts, you don't, at least for evaluation purposes, you don't have to get it right on the mark. Typically, you just have to like put the spirit under enough pressure that it kind of shows you what it's got, and getting close is usually good enough. All right, let's move on to the St. Lucia. Again, so this is a pick by Ivanius Harris. I don't know who that is, but it's a German edition. How did I get a hold of this? Interesting. It is ex-bourbon cask number 96052003. It's 15 years old, and it's all from their Vendome still. And the reason why this is here is because there's a ton of these Master Selections bottlings out there, and Vendome still St. Lucia tends to have a grungy character, very rubbery, very, weird, that you might compare to the Fijians. So if these disappear, if these dry up, when we all come out of this in 2029, then keep your eye out for stuff like this. Ooh. Very different nose. Yeah, I mean, is there a little bit of a family resemblance to the Fiji? Yes. There's a parade of Virginia tobacco. There is a little bit of a kind of an old tire thing. But really, this is much more kind of woody, and like the wood is showing much, much more in a good way. Vanilla, root beer, maraschino cherry. That's really the difference. I was not getting cherry on any of these, but here it's like, hi, I'm full of good old-fashioned American oak. But pay more attention, and yeah, you're getting black olive, fennel, little sea salt, rummy stuff, right? But then we're back to sweet tea. There's some stewed peach in this. Banana peel, pineapple juice, black pepper. Did I mention black pepper? It's something like aromatic. It's not quite floral. It's more like almost um, like a balsa wood kind of thing. Uh, in some ways, this actually reminds me of Port Moran, with those kind of almost balsa wood, almost incensey aromatics. There's also some like nut shells, maybe walnut shells. It's a little nutty on the palate. Oof. This is good too. This is just a good flight. So it is much more woody uh, than the other two, and much nuttier. Like this demands to be Mai Tai'd. Um, if you were in the mood for a high end Mai Tai where you care a little bit about the budget, you're not going to shell out for Appleton 17, but you're willing to use really good stuff. This will Mai Tai like crazy. What else we got? Oh, it's so nutty. Tobacco, black pepper. There's like a potpourri incense thing to this. Salted licorice, but then you got that little like old tire thing. Yeah, I mean, if you can't get Fiji, this will scratch the itch. This will do the job. Root beer, vanilla, cherry, and just lots of wood. Wood. Banana peel, pineapple, peach. I mean, yeah, this will sub in for these two, but it's as much. And I don't know if I said this before about St. Lucia Vendome. It's as much like Port Moran as it is like Fiji. If I'm honest, which is cool with me. I've loved both of those distillates. I like both of these very much, or all three of these very much. I'm gonna add some water. 1, 2. Oh, I forgot to name the proof on this. What is this? It's 59 something. 59.3. Actually, exactly the same as the Fiji. 3, 4. Do like half a squirt more. There we go. All right, let us go back through. I hope you've all got fun weekend plans. I'm gonna have my weekend plan is to talk my wife down. Again, that's just every couple of days now. Okay, back to the Fiji. So at this point in my just having tasted these neat, my ranking is kind of like it's not that complicated. I am first for this guy, second for the St. Lucia, third for the old Fiji. Well, we'll see if that changes. Oh, on the nose with the 2001. Yeah, hello. This woke the hell up. I am now getting like an intense cinnamon kind of thing. Yeah, wow. Okay. So if you are looking for industrial Fiji, this still isn't going to do the trick, even with water. But if you love really aromatic rums, buy this and dump some water into it. I'm telling you. Cinnamon, cardamom, mango, Lots of fruit. But also like just lots of spice. There's some allspice in there. Wow, this just opens up beautifully. On the palate. Oh my God, where were you hiding? This loves the water. It loves, wow. Oh my God. Listen to me. Listen up. I know there are a few of you who are like super duper macho or just maybe a little lazy. And you're like, yeah, I know the different spirits guy likes to add some water to his spirits for whatever reason. But I'm not into that. I'm going to just drink everything neat. There are times, they're not very common, but there are absolutely times when something just steps up to a completely different level after you add some water to it. This bottle is one of those times. If you get a bottle of this, you absolutely need to add some water to it because, oh my God, this just gained 2 or 3 points. I'm serious. Like, this might be winning the flight now. Just a huge step up in mouth presence. It's now just like pummeling the inside of my cheeks with spice and flowers and aromatic stuff. And the finish just holds and holds and holds. And oh God, this is good. There's more complexity. There's more character. There's more notes, more fruit. The mango thing. There's some papaya maybe. Cinnamon. Like all the spices. Really, wow. All right. Yeah, I'm dumping the score up on this. Like, it's a 91 point spirit, but you have to put the water in. You have to spend the time. Get yourself a teaspoon or a straw or an eyedropper, whatever you got, and just get this thing down a little bit, and it will sing to you. 91 points. No, 91 with like a little drop emoji to remind you need to add water to this. And I'm not going to negotiate on that. This needs water. It's good on its own. It's lovely on its own. Good Lord, it opens up with water. Wow. Okay, moving on. We have a new leader, I guess. All right, on to the 2009 again. Yeah, not as much development on the nose as the previous class. I mean, it's been years since I've seen this much development with water on the nose. But there is development. It's if anything even like dirtier than the first time. The bike tires coming out on the nose. But also the flowers kick up a little bit. Like it smells like bike tires covered in olive juice with a whole bunch of flowers growing up around them. That's what it smells like. Like really, you gotta be kind of an extreme personality to love this style. But if that's you, like go buy some Fiji. I mean, okay, on the palate. Interesting. So the mouth presence gets a little bit more peppery, but the overall impression is this is actually more friendly now with the addition of water. The vanilla comes out a little bit more, the sweetness, a little bit more fruit. This is really good. The only problem it has is I think the 2001 is better. And it's just such a great contrast in styles. Like, this is just so elegant and aromatic and interesting, and this is so grungy and ugly in the best possible way. Don't think I set this up by accident. I really wanted this kind of contrast. Score-wise, did I call this a 90 plus? Or no, I'm going to stick with just 90. It doesn't quite get into 90 plus territory. But that is a very, very good rum. And if you like them on the extreme side, keep your eye out for this one. It wasn't even super expensive. Okay, so now I am a little bit scared for the little St. Lucia. Let's see what it's got. On the nose, there's a little bit more cinnamon coming through, a little bit like the Fiji, but I'm going to be not in the same league of complexity. There's a lot of like chai spices coming on right now. So yeah, cinnamon, cardamom, or maybe like just more like Kirsch spice. There's a little bit of pistachio happening. The more I nose this, the more I kind of sit with it, the more Port Moran it becomes, which I'm not complaining about. But it's certainly a different style to this middle one, I will tell you that. On the palate. Ooh. Same kind of story. Very, I mean, you have the wood, you have the rumminess, but then there's that kind of like potpourri, incense, balsa wood, aromatic thing. Very PM-like. But still has that little hint of old tire in there, that little rubbery thing, which is kind of the common line through these. It's really, I don't think it can quite box with the other two, but it's really good. Finish just hangs on for basically indefinitely. Great mouth length. I would love to have a little bit more complexity, a little bit more depth in the in the backbench, but this is a terrific bottle of rum too, and I'm going to give it 89 points. And that's the video. So yeah, even if you think I am completely out of my mind politically and in terms of buying recommendations, like worst case, you're getting some fantastic rums here. Your loser with a score of 89 points, which would be winning on like 90% of the flights I do, is the St. Lucia 15-year-old from the Vendome still. Actually, we can just go down the line. 90 points for the Fiji 2009. It is dirty and disgusting and grungy, and I love it. And this little come from behind victory by the Rum Artesanal 2001 Fiji. Yeah. Yeah. So buy this bottle and give it some water because it loves it. And that's it. 91 points for this. Thanks for watching and cheers.